Hey everybody, SL11193 right here. I am in the First State Garrison in Delaware, and I am here to help out with some thermal detonators for the 850 Armor FOTK. And I've been asked by several of you how I put mine together, and so I want to try to help you out as best that I can. Now, I don't have the kit in pieces at this point. I only have 3 nearly completed kits here, so I'm going to do my best to show you without the pieces. Maybe when I get another FOTK kit commission, or maybe if I get a set from 850 to build for myself and sell again, I'll do a more in-depth tutorial. But for now, real quick, I'll try to make this as detailed as I can. Here's your thermal detonator in the Bondo stage, pre-paint. Here's the finished thermal detonator. Bet you can't wait till you get to this point. I know I couldn't. But this is looking pretty good. So let's get you here. So what I did, this comes in 4 pieces. We have the end caps, 1, 2, and you got the front and the back. Here's the back, here's the front. Just a couple things to remember. You're gonna have to be doing 2 and 3 things at a time. That's how you get through the thermal detonator. You have to be thinking about 2 or 3 things at a time constantly. You will get through it, or you can have it commissioned. So either one works, you know, but you will get through it. So what you do first is, when you're doing the trim, just make sure that these edges here, so let's look at the front first. The 2 edges, the top edge, the bottom edge. Cut off anything that's curving up. Just start there, okay? Don't do a lot of your cuts from the bottom, from the top, for the front piece. Once you get these edges straight, this edge straight, and this edge straight for this top piece, that's pretty much where you're going to want to stay. You'll have to take some off here and there, but you don't want to take a lot off because the bottom has the detail here. So, front and back, cut all the curves off. You know what I'm talking about, where it's all curving up this way and curving up this way. Cut it off so that it's straight. The bottom's going to be a butt end. You're going to just simply fit it so that this butt ends. You'll have gaps here and here, but this will be a butt end. All right, the gaps will be filled in with Bondo here and here. And of course, you'll Bondo the crack here too as well. But these will basically, essentially come together just like this. Ready? Like that. Okay. Now the top does not butt end. It can. I didn't do it that way. What I did is I simply overlapped the front with the back. So here's the front, here's the back, overlap them. So it looks like this with your hand. So if this is the back, here's the front piece. This is what I mean by overlap. So this edge will overlap. Okay? And then what you're going to do is shave down that overlap as much as you can once it's all glued together, and the Bondo will give you the slope. It'll take care of the rest. Okay? So butt end on the bottom for the slope overlap. Now for fitting, what you're going to do is you're going to, once you're dry fitting everything, don't glue anything, dry fit it. The way I did the fitting, and this is where the thinking about 2 and 3 things comes in, is I took this piece here, this end cap, the one that has the sloped, flared out edging. Once I trimmed that, and I was comfortable with the height of this thermal detonator piece, that's where I did my fitting. So I did the butt end on the bottom. Again, that's number 1, what you're thinking about. Number 2 is the overlap on the top. And then I made sure this piece fit. So this was nice and tight with this all fitting too as well. So the butt end looked good, overlap looked good. Once that happened, and I had it kind of taped together, I made sure, with real loose fitting, made sure this end cap also fit. And made sure, you know, kind of smushed it together to make sure it all fit together like this. Once it all kind of looked good, I glued this end cap into the back piece. All right. This end cap, the one that sticks out, into the back piece. And then what I did is, once that dried, and it took about 15 seconds to do that, then what I did is I glued the front onto this end cap and the butt end down here, and this is the most nerve-wracking part, and the overlap up here. All right, so if you're really nervous about it, use a more forgiving glue like E6000. I went ahead and used Crazy Glue on my second turn around, and it came out real well. If you do a lot of dry fitting, you really shouldn't have a problem. You just got to get to that dry fitting point. So, glue the back to the end cap. Once it's dry, glue the front on to the end cap, to the overlap, to the butt end joint. All right, and on the back, have your piece of plastic for the butt end joint glued into this back part so that it's enough that you can easily just place the top part, the front part, right on top of that. Okay. Again, I wish I had a kit right now. I could show you exactly how to do this with some close-ups and everything. Once that's all done and this is all glued together, then you're going to put on this piece. Now make sure with this piece you've already made your cutout here and that you've inserted a piece of ABS plastic here because there has to be a, it looks like an inset here. So you want to make sure that you do that. And then what I did is I just glued some tabs onto this end cap so they were pointing straight down, and then I glued those tabs in and the edges together. Just kind of stuck it on like a cap. Again, it didn't look pretty. There were gaps, but it looked straight. All right, that's the whole point. I wanted to get this nice and straight. So it wasn't sticking out this way or too far down. I just wanted it to look right so that when I bonded everything, it would look like a canister on the back. Once you've done that, you can move into the Bondo stage. Once everything's glued together, all your Bondo on the slope is just going to meet up with the butt end joint. If you really want to, go over that overlap joint. I said butt end, but it's an overlap joint. Go over a little bit of the overlap joint, but make sure you're putting in enough Bondo. You kind of build this up because it won't look right at first. It will not look like a slope here, but you can clearly see how it slopes down the way it's supposed to. But what it'll originally look like is you'll have this, and then you'll have a gap where all this Bondo is. And it'll look weird, but once you fill that Bondo in, you have a nice slope. Fill in the gaps here too as well in the back, so that you have a decently round-looking canister. All right, on the bottom, you're gonna Bondo across here. You're gonna Bondo into these gaps here. You're going to Bondo all the way around this, and you're going to Bondo right here. Okay? The guys at 850, they cut this part out, which you can do. It's probably better to do that. And then they put they grommet in this to the back piece of the thermal detonator. I just used DevCon plastic welder, and that thing is not going anywhere. I mean, it's as you can see. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to sit here and try and test it or anything, but this feels like one piece. So this is what you end up with. So again, you end up with your black inset, vinyl decals. This is actually my thermal detonator, and I don't think it's as good as the one that I did here for a commission. It's slightly off in spots. And again, your thermal detonator is going to be slightly off in spots too because it's just an imperfect piece. But this one's a lot straighter. I was able to do a lot more with the overlap on the one side and button on the other. So I hope that helps. I'm SL11193. If you really get stuck in the thermal detonator and you want somebody to commission it for you, feel free to hit me up. We can discuss price and finish time and everything and whatever, and some options for that. But otherwise, hopefully this helped you a little bit. So check out my Facebook page. It's pathetic right now, but SL11193. I put my builds on there, and I'm kind of building that page up, and I plan to build it up even more as more commissions come in. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped out, and have a great night. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Take it easy.